Good evening. It's Facebook Love number 70. This Thursday is, I think, 10 weeks straight. I took a break last weekend. But except for those 2 nights, I have come to you every night to read some poems and talk a little bit about what it feels like to be living in these unusual and emotional and confusing times. I feel like the last few days have been particularly difficult. We've crossed the threshold of 100,000 Americans losing their lives to COVID-19. Many say that the numbers are higher than that. That's just what we've been able to track. That many more have died but not been diagnosed before death, so the medical examiners have to catch up. I heard something today, an interesting comparison. South Korea had their first case the same day that the United States did, and they chose a different path for dealing with testing and tracing contacts and helping people stop and slow the spread of this disease, because nobody has immunity to it. And of course some people get it and it's not a big deal, but obviously based on how many people are gone, quite a few don't recover, especially if they already have immune issues. And if you think that you just don't have any or don't know anybody who has them, your immunity can be suppressed in a lot of ways for a lot of reasons. And the people you know people who are immune suppressed, so your empathy should be turned on. At any rate, South Korea chose a different path. And if they did the math problem to compare the population of that smaller country with the population of our country, we would have lost somewhere around 2,000 lives. Maybe a few more, but it's certainly not 100,000. That's like a small city. Imagine. And black people continue to be killed for no reason by those who are supposed to protect us all. This isn't okay. It's not acceptable. If I were in trouble and pulled out of a restaurant or out of my car, I wouldn't be in fear of my life. Just because I look like this? That's not right. We have to wake up and stand up and make changes. So it's been very painful. Yesterday I read a poem about pain. And today, instead, I looked for things that have a larger perspective and a little humor. If you're not familiar with the Sufi master Hafiz, this whole book is full of things that will make you see things a little differently, and often with some joy, or at least a little wry laughter at our situations. So, Facebook Love today is trying to rise higher in that hot air balloon to find a little less upsetting and visceral feelings. Hafiz loved to talk about speaking with God and how God spoke with him. This poem is called Our Hearts Should Do This More. I sit in the streets with the homeless, my clothes stained with the wine from the vineyards the saints tend. Light has painted all acts the same color, so I sit around and laugh all day with my friends. At night, if I feel a divine loneliness, I tear the doors off love's mansion and wrestle God onto the floor. He becomes so pleased with Hafiz and says, our hearts should do this more. He likes to talk about himself. This one is also like that. This is what creativity feels like if you aren't a person who makes pictures, sculptures, songs, dances, poems, stories, etc. There's all kinds of ways to make art. This one is called Sometimes I Say to a Poem. Sometimes I say to a poem, not now, can't you see I am bathing? But the poem usually doesn't care and quips, too bad, Hafiz, no getting lazy. You promised God you would help out, and he just came up with this new tune. Sometimes I say to a poem, I don't have the strength to wring out another drop of the sun. And the poem will often respond by climbing onto a barroom table, then lifts its skirt, winks, causing the whole sky to fall. Sometimes I say to a poem. 2 pieces from Hafiz. If there's anything that I've been learning in the years that I've been alive, it's that every time something hurts a lot, I learn. And I'm usually kicking and screaming the whole way, no matter how many times I realize it later that this is the way it goes. And I still hate it, because I'm a person. A friend and I were talking earlier today about what trying to understand religion and people's following of faith might be all about, what it's really for. And I only ever get down to 2 essential things. That forgiveness is a practice, and love is an action. And I'll add one little codicil to that, that words are so powerful that they can create or destroy. So, when you think about what religion is for, we're trying to make sense of creation. We're trying to see what our purpose is inside it. Forgiveness is a practice. Love is an action. Words have the power to create and destroy. This is Facebook Love. I'll see you again.